Hey team, today we're here at Lakeside. Just here for some happy laps, not some time lapse, but I've got the Mach 1. I was really hoping that my dark horse was going to be here, but unfortunately Ford won't sell it to me. So come on, let's get into it and talk about it. It's actually here, but Ford won't sell it to me. When I got that call, I felt like Todd Kelly, Queensland Raceway 2015. That was a whole lot of expletives. This is just my luck. Every time I order a new car with Ford, something happens. When I ordered the GS, I ordered that one the weekend after they announced the engines. And I went in and the salesman there said, yep, we've got one coming. You can have the first one in Queensland. But right now it's white, but we think we can change it to black. Well, on Monday I got a phone call that, yeah, no, they couldn't change it to black. And so I'd have to wait another month for the next delivery. But then I went to the Sydney Motor Show in 2010 and I found out that the actual GS didn't come with the premium sound and the dual zone like the 2009 Boss 302 version. And so I remember when we actually signed the contract, I was there with the Legal Eagle at the time and I told her that it'd be exactly the same as this, and there was no way I was spending that money on a car that didn't have dual zone and premium sound. So anyway, I rang my dealer straight away, and yeah, so that meant that I had to wait another month until they built one for me. But finally, the right one turned up. And then my XR8, I wasn't even actually going to go in and buy that one. I was only there having a look at the GTFs at the time. And the salesman came over to me and goes, oh, you want to buy one of these? And I'm all like, no, not really. But I am interested in the FGX XR8. And he said, oh, you can order one, you know. And the worst thing, the Legal Eagle then said to me, you know what, if you want one, order it. And so we did. That process wasn't too bad. The biggest problem was that because mine was one of the first ones built, it actually sat in Melbourne for a month before they sent it to the dealer. Yeah, bad thing about that, the dealer was going into receivership. So I was supposed to pick it up on a Friday and they rang me up and they said, if you don't come pick it up today, you can't have this car. And so I was left work, I was on my way there, and that happened to be one of the biggest hailstorms in Brisbane. And so I was skirting around the hailstorm trying to get my brand new car home. And then my 2015 Mustang GT, I ordered that one. And mine was actually built a week before my mate's, but somehow it turned up 2 months later than my mate's. And we both ordered from the same dealership. So that was super weird and I don't know what happened there. But anyway, it ended up turning up. So this Mach 1 is completely stock, you know, motor, exhaust, all that sort of stuff. The only thing, it's had some suspension changes. So, you know, it doesn't do too bad against some of these things. And then there's this one, the Mach 1. Well, that one there, I got an email in January that it was built. So number 157, and if you remember that they're M numbered and 0, it actually, when you make that into a word, it's actually a bit of a funny word. Yeah, I got an email that was ready, and then a few days later, I got another email that I had an NSC number, which is what you get when you sign a contract. So I rang the dealer to find out what was happening, and yeah, he said, oh yeah, the stock controller built it wrong. So we actually built you an auto instead of a manual. I know you really wanted a manual. So yeah, so then I had to wait another 3 months for them to build that one. And you know what that happened? That fell straight into that chip shortage thing. So yeah, it actually ended up being like almost 6 months till I got it. So what's happening with the Dark Horse? Well, apparently they're too dangerous to sell. Yes, 100%. So there's an issue that the screen might go black. Yeah, so if you look at the numbers, it affects about 1% of cars. But yeah, so, and it's only cars that are built in a certain window. So it's like between May and August, certain dates in May and August. My problem with it isn't so much that they're holding it because it's too dangerous to sell. It's that the cars that were delivered before there was a shutdown in July, they've all been delivered here in Australia already, but none of the owners have actually been told. If it's so dangerous that you can't drive it on the street, why hasn't the people who are actually driving them been told? So when will I get it now? Well, that's the really sad part, is that there's no software fix for it yet, and they're not going to sell it until there's a software fix. Now, I was having a look at the same problem in the US, and they're saying there's not a software fix until Q1 2025. Ah! I know how you feel, Todd. I know how you feel. It's not all bad news though. We've still got the Mach 1. You know, we're out here having some fun. So I still plan to do all my tests. It's just, unfortunately, without a car, I can't actually do anything. So it looks like we're gonna have to wait till next year to actually get our bum in the seat. Oops, hit the red limiter. Oh, look what we got here. This is a dark horse now. Actually, this is my mate's dark horse. And guess what? His car falls perfectly into the same window. But he was lucky enough that his was built before the factory shut down, so he's got his already. And that's how I know that Ford themselves haven't even contacted the people who are affected. Let's see if we can trick him into a race. His is still pretty new, so he doesn't want to actually like rev it too hard, but if we pull up beside him, he might not be able to say no. He definitely wasn't fully on it. But you know what that is? First win for the Mach 1! Shallow victory, but... Okay team, well that's it. So I'm still going to do all my tests when I finally get my dark horse, you know, do the Mach 1 versus the dark horse, but you know, there's nothing I can do. Ford won't sell me one, so I'll just have to wait. It's in some storage shed somewhere, and when they decide to give it to me, I'll end up buying it. So if you want to see that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, there's more to going fast than going fast. I'll catch you next time.